Hello, everybody. I am Hoarder Gamer, and this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. I want to thank you very much for joining me this week. Like every week, we've got comics, we've got games, and we've got toys. And we're going to start this week with some games, and I apologize. We're going to be basically very quickly going through what I went through last week. Because the Diablo 4 new season, that's next Tuesday. That's right, less than 1 week until the largest amount of content has come and the largest amount of changes since the actual launch of the game in June of last year. So, Diablo 4, give me 1 second here. Got some pictures. First up, we got Loot Reborn. That is the name of the season starting next Tuesday. Okay? And it's all about the changes to itemization, but there's much more than that. It's not a very dry season where all it is that like some items are slightly different. Loot as a whole has been completely looked at, and basically they've gone through it with like a fine-tooth comb, I believe that's the term, and trying to find out, what worked, what didn't, listening to feedback from players, and this is the result. Diablo Loot Reborn. And the exciting stuff is that itemization lets you maximize your power. Now, the way that works is there's two different huge types of itemization. Let's see, PS Plus members, RoboCop Rogue City, Alex Murphy edition. That's a great deal, everybody. That was one of my favorite games of last year. RoboCop Rogue City. I was happy to buy it day one at full price. Because those devs understand the franchise. The whole concept of, what did they say? Understood the assignment. Yeah, they very much understood the assignment with Terminator. And they very much understood the assignment with RoboCop. Yeah, Teon is awesome. Okay, so first up, we got a little bit of info here. So, as I said, Season 4 Loot Reborn, you saw that picture a moment ago. So, early game, beginning of end game is tempering. You're able to work with an item, choose affixes that you like, and power those up and get the affixes the way you want them to be. Then, in late game, we're talking about like level 100, okay? So once you've hit like the end cap of levels for your character and gone through the Paragon board, you'll be at 100, and at that point, basically it's mastering. And then you take your weapon to like insane levels. And I believe it's every third or fourth level you take it to is a huge jump in power. So mastering is something you're going to be doing at level 100 and later, going through something called the pit, the Artificer's Pit. And in the pit, you'll get the crafting materials in order to master your weapons. So remember, two things: tempering early, mastering much later. Okay? And the Helltide is going to be closer to the Diablo Season of Blood. And they took a lot of feedback about that beloved season. Everyone who played Diablo and that season loved it. I don't know anyone who disliked the Season of Blood. You had cool vampiric powers. You were fighting vampires. They had something different than the Helltide that you did that was very exciting. And like I just said, it was so exciting to players, and the feedback was so great, they are altering Helltide to be more like that event that was during Season 2, the Season of Blood. Also, the Iron Wolves are stationed in Helltides. So basically, you have the Iron Wolves, which are like mercenaries and warriors, and the season story arc is actually going to be about them. So they will help us fight the enemies of hell, or like the enemies of Sanctuary and demons and things like that. So it should be a lot of fun. And now also tier 1 and tier 2 players can level up into Helltide. You used to have to get to tier 3 or tier 4 to enjoy the Helltide, but now you can do it much earlier. And as you see on the screen, basically there's new events in Helltide, new enemies, and a new threat system, similar to Grand Theft Auto. I believe it's 3 levels, and the more insane you go, the more death and carnage you bring to these demons, the more crazy things get for you as the threat system goes up. And next, we have a new boss, Andariel. And then we had the pit I mentioned, the Pit of Artificers, as the new endgame content. But it's a big deal. Like, there's many, many levels to the pit. It's very similar, actually, to the Greater Rifts in Diablo 3. It's not built around objectives. It's built around getting through the pit. And you are penalized. Your first death, you lose 30 seconds. Your second death, you lose 60. And your third death, you lose 90 seconds. Now, I don't know if it keeps building it up from 90 and keep going on, but I do know you only have 10 minutes total for the pit, or a level of the pit. So it's going to be challenging. I expect it to be challenging. It's not supposed to be as nightmarish, though, as the Abattoir of Zur, because the Abattoir of Zur was like a massive jump between each and every level. Like, it wasn't like real minimal or anything. It was supposed to be crazy. In fact, a lot of players never really even got, I guess, to the Abattoir of Zur for that season. So that's how intense it was. It was sort of a bit of an experiment from the devs because it didn't launch immediately with the season. I think it was like a month later, and they just kind of wanted to see the feedback and see what people thought of this new type of content they were going to bring to the game. So, but yeah, it was meant to be aspirational and brutally difficult. Any crossover benefits from playing Diablo Mobile? No, but someone I believe said that they're announcing, or they just announced, a new character class on mobile. So at first I thought it was the official announcement of the Diablo 4 character class for Vessel of Hatred, which is a big expansion coming to Diablo 4 later this year. But apparently I think it was for the mobile game. So that information is out there. I don't play the mobile game much. I did spend a few days when the vampire class came in. I think that was last year. And that was fun. I had a good time with that for a bit. But I really prefer, once Diablo 4 came out, I prefer playing that, so that's what I usually do play. Okay, now we're not done with gaming. We're done with Diablo 4, except for, again, reminding everybody, next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, May 14th. Loot Reborn. Okay, now, MVS, Multiversus. They have had an interesting couple days of promotion recently. They had a series of clues that would open up a purple box. Remember that color, purple, okay? Not the book, not the movies. Just remember the specific color of purple. A series of clues led to a reveal of the Joker today in Multiversus, when it launches on May 28th. Relaunches, actually. Not launches. And it's a stylized look based on Batman the Animated Series, which a lot of people weren't expecting. Hair looks a little bit different and everything, but man, it certainly sounds like it's Mark Hamill reprising the voice of the Clown Prince of Crime. So, yeah, I think that's really cool. I believe Multiversus is still going to be free to play. They intend on releasing a ton of characters, even like a story game mode, which I thought was really cool. Like the things that they have coming to it, like better net code and putting it on Unreal 5, are pretty damn meaningful. Like, it makes sense that it disappeared and it's coming back, because I don't think you can just willy-nilly put a game into Unreal 5. I think that's pretty crazy. And there are a lot of fighting games that could, you know, step back and be like, hey, we should probably work on our net code. So, talking to J. Kuhn Prime, who is I'm the co-host. He is the host for Primecast on Sunday nights. It's every 2 weeks. Basically, he's talked about how netcode is incredibly important. One of the most important things for competitive fighting games. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. That means that Multiversus could be at EVO next year. And if it had poor or pathetic netcode, that wouldn't be the case. From what I saw, Combo Breaker is actually going to have the Nickelodeon fighting game. The second one that came out, I think it was last year. They're actually going to have that at Combo Breaker in Chicago. And I was like, that's wild. I was not expecting that. But again, that game was supposed to have very good netcode. The reviews were very, like, laudatory towards that game. People really liked it a lot. Reviewers loved it. Okay. And in sad news, Microsoft closed Tango Gameworks and a number of other studios. And apparently due to, not because... I'm trying to explain it because Jason Schreier kind of gave the explanation, but the way I was about to say it made it sound like the entire thing was because of Jason Schreier. That's not the case. That's not the case. It has to do with basically ZeniMax and Microsoft consolidating. And yeah, it's really upsetting because Tango Gameworks made Hi-Fi Rush, which was excellent. They had Evil Within 1 and 2. There was work apparently on the Evil Within 3 going on. Not anymore. There was talk of a sequel to Ghost World Tokyo. Not anymore. Very upsetting. Does anyone know what one of the other studios was? There were like 2 big studios, and I know Tango Gameworks was one of them. That was the one that hit me the hardest, because Hi-Fi Rush is great. And yeah, Shinji Mikami, yeah, but still, there were a lot of talented devs there with a lot of really neat ideas. Hi-Fi Rush was a massive hit. And that's what's really angering too right here, everybody. It used to be, if your game was a big failure or something like that, then you had to worry about losing your job possibly in the gaming industry. Now you could have a massive hit, and it doesn't matter. It's really damn sad. Hi-Fi Rush was a critical darling, and apparently it sold really well for Microsoft. They talked about its numbers a number of times. I want to say it was on top 10 lists last year. I'm pretty certain it was. In fact, there might have been some that actually chose it as Game of the Year. That's how good Hi-Fi Rush was. It basically took amazing animation and made that the game. And then it was also this fun, like, science fiction story that reminded me a lot of Futurama. Okay, and the character of Fry. And combined music gameplay. So, like, rhythm. But then it went to allow you in the difficulty level to tune down how perfect you had to be with the beat and everything. So just about everyone could play through and enjoy the game. It went out of its way to be this awesome experience for just about everyone. Too many people were upset, but nobody bought the game. A lot of people bought the game. Apparently the sales were good. Well, that's because everyone played it on Xbox. Maybe now they'll get it on PS5? Like, oh man, this game was great. When's the sequel coming? I know it's going to happen. I know people are going to say that. They're totally going to pull a Marvel's Avengers. Oh, this was excellent. Why wasn't I playing this? You don't want my answer. If you're one of the people trolling about Marvel's Avengers for years, you don't want my answer to that question. But, oh, yes, Arcane Austin. Okay, so they had that vampire game that unfortunately did not go well. It looked very cool. It sounded exciting. But the more upsetting thing than that game not doing well is they basically were ready to embark on a new Dishonored game. We're about to like fully pitch it and gone. Now, what's interesting about this, I believe it was Matt Booty, who said that the biggest issue was that there's 9 studios and not enough people or employees, I guess, to watch over all 9 studios. Higher echelon employees. It's not just going to be like, you know, someone starting out at Microsoft that's going to be watching something like Tango Gameworks or something. So that's interesting to me because it's similar to what Phil Spencer said about... I apologize. Anyone remember the name of the vampire game? Biting Disappointment, was that it? Was it called Biting Disappointment? I don't think that was the title. Bloodless? No? No. Redfall. Thank you. Thank you. So with Redfall, Phil Spencer was like, we came on too late. There was almost no one basically watching what was going on there. And that's what happened with Redfall. And it was also thought that maybe Redfall was pushed to release too early. And all of that came back to, you know, bite the effect that that game had. And again, the concept was cool. I played a number of hours of it. It had a lot of weird, goofy issues that if it had another 6 months to a year, it probably would have been able to iron out. But yeah, it goes back to the, you know, what Phil Spencer said, and then also now what Matt Booty has said about there's not enough, like, guiding, I guess you could say, or like, obviously they don't want to take control of projects completely, but it sounds like there's like not enough people to cover these 9 different studios. So I don't know, hire more executives? I don't know. I don't know exactly what the answer is. That's okay, Crinky. Thank you for being here. Thank you. But yeah, that's some very sad news. More people losing their jobs in the game industry. And apparently, this even more sad news is Microsoft may not be done. So, yeah. They might have more layoffs, apparently. Or more closings. Really kind of takes the shine off June 9th, right? The big Xbox event. Like, how can you be super excited for that knowing that a shit ton of people lost their jobs? And that people that miscalculated and made those bad decisions that led to those people losing their jobs are going to be on stage. Okay, everybody. Time to like not get out of like the you know, cloud in head mode. The dark, depressing stuff. Let's toy around. Let's toy around this week. And first up, what do we have? But McFarlane Toys Tim Drake. Look at that smirk on his face. The sculpt is great. The coloring is great. That smug smirk. If you're a fan of Tim Drake, this is awesome. This is a great depiction of Tim Drake from McFarlane Toys. $24.99 goes on sale on Friday. So this will go on sale on Friday. Yes, Arcane Lion is actually doing Blade. That's correct. That's correct. But yeah, I think this looks really good. I really like this figure a lot. And that should be everywhere. That should be Amazon, Entertainment Earth. It should be just about at every retailer. Target, as far as I know, it's not like a limited item. Look at this kick-ass Venom action figure in the retro packaging with 2 heads that are expertly sculpted. Now, is there one piece of information I could say about this $24.99 figure that would be disappointing? Yes, there is. 2 words. Walmart exclusive. Walmart exclusive. So, that means that most people have to go and to Toy Scalpers to get one. I'm hoping that Hasbro Pulse has some, like, on the, right in the beginning or something. That'd be really nice. Sometimes they get the exclusive Walmart, Target stuff, whatever it is, that first day. But I don't know. I will say this, though. This is a great anniversary Marvel figure and an excellent depiction of Venom. I very much like this Venom. I will attempt to get this Venom. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I absolutely love the sculpting on the heads. Both of them look great. It's a really nice take on Venom. And next up, we have something that's, I don't know, a bit sketchy. It's a bit sketchy. Hush Batman Sketch Edition. McFarlane Toys. I like these a lot. I actually have, let's see, where did I put him? Oh, he's over this side, damn it. I have a Superman in the Sketch Edition. I believe also from Hush. And this is a specific line of McFarlane Toys that are done in black and white with this really cool, like, cell shading type of look to them. Or we'll say shading because it's not a cartoon. But I really like these a lot. And these are $29.99. It comes with a stand. It's limited edition. It's only at Entertainment Earth. It's an exclusive, I believe, at Entertainment Earth. And again, if you were to order from them and do code Hoarder, it supports me. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, I think it's really cool looking. And if you're a fan of Hush, if you're a fan of Batman, if you're a fan of things not being colored correctly, there you go. There you go. And with that, we are done toying around. Now, we are going to go into the future, look into the future, really, into our crystal ball, and we're going to look at the comic book world 1 week from today. And first up, we have Doom 1. Again, that's Doom 1. Doom number 1. Victor Von Doom is out to attain the most power of any being in the Marvel Universe. Okay? That alone is frightening. The reason he wants that, though, could be somewhat altruistic. He wants that power so he can defeat Galactus, so Galactus can't end the universe itself. Sanford Green, written by Sanford Green and Jonathan Hickman. This sounds awesome. Doom number 1 next week. I also think it's a double-sized issue. So, that should be interesting. Doom number 1. Next up, we have something a little bit scary, everybody. I hope you're not prone to, like, freaking out over scary things. We have Principles of Necromancy, number 2. Okay? An insane horror book. And right now, it's basically the main character, Eloise, is trying to learn these principles of necromancy and how you can cheat death. And this is supposed to tie into the big bad Dr. Eyes and let us know his background. This is only issue 2. There's only one issue out so far. And just the title, Principles of Necromancy, is just awesome. And finally, everybody, Ultimate X-Men number 3. Written and art by Peach Momoko. I believe she also did the cover as well. She's great. She's great. She has this amazing, almost like watercolor look to her art. And there's this sense of beauty, naivety, and sometimes even a horror in her depictions. And this book has been awesome. Introducing members of a new Ultimate X-Men, and now May Storm. This issue will be about mostly May Storm, and she's similar to Kamala Khan in that she's basically a fangirl, but she's a fangirl of Storms. So this should be really cool. The other 2 issues have been great, and I don't expect this one to be any different. Ultimate X-Men number 3. And everybody, that was the future of comic books, all the way to 1 week from today. And finally, everybody, would you like to see a better picture of that? I believe I can make that happen. I believe I can. There we go. The Boy Wonder, number 1, by Ba and O'Halloran. And you might be wondering, is this comic, is this a Junie Ba or a Junie Ba? It is the former and not the latter. It is awesome. It is awesome. It is like a modern fairy tale of a prince who doesn't want to be what his grandfather and mother want him to be, and he doesn't even know if that's his path, but he also questions if his path is as Batman's son and how much of Batman's tutelage and, I guess, morals he wants to take as his own, as he tries to set out and be his own person and his own hero. And in this book, they constantly go back to the idea of it being this fairy tale, and the artwork is awesome. Reminds me of Darwin Cook. That's the closest thing I could compare it to. And basically, Damian Wayne is, trying to fight crime in Gotham, and Alfred is worried about him, so he contacts Nightwing and Batgirl, and they end up fighting the demon type thing that Damian is hunting. It's basically been talked about that there's some sort of demon type thing in Gotham killing people. There's a cool reveal as to who the demon is in here, and it comes to a really cool fight involving Damian, Nightwing, and Batgirl. But much to Damian's chagrin, mostly Nightwing and Batgirl. And there's a great surprise where another demon type enemy shows up. And that's a real demon. That's a real one. And it leads us into the idea that he's going to team up with Red Hood. So it'll be very interesting to see the effect that Red Hood is going to have on Damian Wayne here. And I look forward to this series to see, what path he takes. Will he strike out and take his own path is it an amalgam of his mother, grandfather, and Bruce's training? So what was really cool in this book, he basically takes some notes from the way Nightwing works with somebody that is, a victim of crime, and he kind of adapts that. At first, he kind of mocks it and like, yeah, right. And then he ends up having to console somebody, and he realizes that, maybe Nightwing is right about some things. It's very cool. It's very cool. And there's this amazing demon artwork that depicts Damien, Talia, and Ra's al Ghul. And that is so cool. There's another really nice cover like this. It's mostly like a white background, but it depicts that demon art. It's really awesome. It looks like something from maybe like 12th or 13th century, like Middle Ages almost. It's awesome. But yes, Boy Wonder #1 is not a ba, it's Ba, Junie Ba, and it's great. I highly recommend it. Okay, everybody, I want to thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for spending any time checking this out. If you like it, feel free to like, sub, whatever. That's something I don't like to harp on. It's just something I bring up at the end, But thank you very much, and we will have another episode next week. I'm sure I'll talk about Season 4 of Diablo after actually being able to play a few hours of it by the time the show airs next week. So looking forward to that. And hopefully we'll get some more Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League information. Episode 2 could drop next week. We might get a deep dive surprise on Friday when the blog update hits for Suicide Squad. So who knows? Who knows? Crinky, XLM, everyone else that watched tonight, thank you very much. And anyone that watches this week, thank you. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.